We continue now at the top of Daf 60b Mesechet Kesubos. This is Kesuvos Daf 60b. The Tosefta over here continues at Esrim V'Arba Chodesh Divrei Rabbi Meir. If you have a situation of a woman who is nursing, so again she has to wait the 24 months from when the child was born in order to get married, because again she has to finish the nursing, and if she gets married to another man, she might get pregnant and she will not be able to nurse the child. Rashi over here says, at Esrim V'Arba Chodesh Shemet Tisavra, maybe she's going to get pregnant if she gets married during that period. V'titztarech ligmol as bena, then she's going to need to wean her son from the nursing. And this new husband that she married is not even this child's father. He's not going to be able to buy him eggs and milk. He won't be able to provide food for him, or he won't want to provide food for him. Again, Divrei Rabbi Meir, this is Rabbi Meir's opinion. She has to wait 24 months. Rabbi Yehuda matir b'shmona asar chodesh, and Rabbi Yehuda says no, it's okay for her to get married even after 18 months. Rashi over here says shmona asar chodesh dayu letinok linak b'kach. According to him, 18 months of nursing is enough, according to Rabbi Yehuda. And the Gemara continues. Amar Rabbi Nosson bar Yosef. Rabbi Nosson bar Yosef says, Hein divrei beis Shammai, hein divrei beis Hillel. This machlokus, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, was really an earlier machlokus. It's a machlokus between beis Shammai and beis Hillel. She beis Shammai omrim esrim v'arba chodesh, because beis Shammai say 24 months, or beis Hillel omrim shmona asar chodesh, and beis Hillel say it is 18 months. And the Tosefta continues. Amar Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says, Ani achriya, I will decide as follows. L'divrei ha'omer esrim ve'arba chodesh. According to the one who says you have to wait 24 months, muteres li nase be'esrim ve'echad chodesh. It's really permitted already to get married at 21 months, because really the nursing will continue. Even if she would get pregnant right away, she'll still be able to nurse for those 3 months. And l'divrei ha'omer b'shmona asar chodesh, the one who says 18 months, muteres li nase be'chamisha asar chodesh. She can get married already at 15 months. Again, the same logic. She'll still be able to continue to nurse for 18 months, because those 3 months, even if she gets pregnant immediately for 3 months, she'll be able to nurse, as the Gemara explains, because again the milk is not going to stop until after 3 months. She will be able to continue to nurse. And the Gemara continues. Amar Ula. Ula says halacha Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Again, Rabbi Yehuda said that 18 months is sufficient. V'amar Marukva, and Marukva said li hitter Rabbi Chanina lo seis la'achar chamisha asar chodesh. Rabbi Chanina allowed me to marry after the woman was nursing for 15 months. Again, 15 months is really 18 months, because for the additional 3 months, even if they marry at 15 months, she'll still be able to nurse for another 3 months. And the Gemara continues. Arise de Abaya also lakame de Abaya. The sharecropper of Abaya came before Abaya. Amar le said to him, Ma'u le'aris b'chamisha asar chodesh. What's the halacha? Can I betroth the woman when she's nursing and it's at the 15th month? Amar le said, Chada de Rabbi Meir Rabbi Yehuda halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Number one, it's a machlokas Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, and the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. V'yod beis Shammai beis Hillel halacha beis Hillel. And furthermore, it's a machlokas beis Shammai beis Hillel, and the halacha is like beis Hillel. So that's 2 reasons why, again, 18 months is sufficient. V'yamar Ula halacha Rabbi Yehuda, and also Ula said the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. V'yamar Marukva, and Marukva also said lihit Rabbi Chanina lases lachar chamisha asar chodesh. The Rabbi Chanina allowed me to marry after 15 months. So you see, again, the halacha is 18 or 15 months. Kol shekein da'at le'ares, and certainly by you, where it's just le'ares, it's just for erison, you're not even asking to marry, you're just asking to betroth, that would certainly be okay. And the Gemara continues, Ki asa lakami de Rav Yosef, when Abaye came before Rav Yosef, so he told him the story, and he said that he permitted this sharecropper to marry at 15 months. Amar Lei said to him, Rav Shmuel damri tarvayu, Rav and Shmuel, they both say not like what you ruled. Tzrich lahamtin esrim ve'arba chodesh, she has to wait for 24 months, chutz miyom shenolad bo, and that does not count the day that the child was born, v'chutz miyom shenesarsa bo, and that does not count the day of the betrothal. So when Abaye heard that he issued the wrong ruling, Roat Basrei Tlasa Parsi, he ran after the sharecropper 3 parsos, V'amri lo parsa b'chola. Some people say he ran after 1 parsa, but it was in the sand, V'lo adreche, but he was not able to catch up to him. Amar Abaye said, Haimil Zadamar Rabbanan afilu be'asa b'kuscha l'lishri yinish b'makom rabbe. The Rabbanan say that a person should not even permit an egg with milk, which is perfectly permissible, but he should not issue a ruling to permit that when his Rebbe is present. Why is that the case? Lo misham demichzi kafki rusa. It's not because it looks disrespectful for him to issue a ruling when his Rebbe is present. Ela mishum de lo mistaya milsa l'meimra. Rather, the reason is because he's not going to be successful in saying over the proper halacha. Dohanoah have a gemirna leila hadar Rav Shmuel, because Abaye says, I learned this teaching of Rav and Shmuel that Rav Yosef just told me. Afilu hachi lo mistaya li milsa l'meimra. But nevertheless, I was not successful in saying over the ruling when the question was posed. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Nasna b'no l'meinekes. Let's say the woman gives her child over to a wet nurse who can nurse the child. Ogamalasur, let's say the child was weaned, or mace, or let's say the child dies. So in those situations, there's no concern if she gets married and she's not able to nurse because the issue is taken care of. So muteris li nase miyad. So the Brisa says she can get married immediately. Again, there's no concern for the fact that she can no longer nurse. And the Gemara continues, Rav Papa Rav Huna Bereid Rav Yoshua Savar Lemev Aruvda Kiyom Asnisa. Rav Papa and Rav Huna Bereid Rav Yoshua, they wanted to paskin like this brisa. Amr Lu Ahisabsa. So a certain old woman told them, B'didi Hava Uvda, the exact story happened to me. V'yasar li Rav Nachman, and Rav Nachman actually said it's prohibited. He did not allow us to rely on this brisa. He did not allow me to marry in this circumstance. And the Gemara says, Ini, is that really true that Rav Nachman is strict? V'har Rav Nachman Sharaluhu Levei Reish Galusa, but Rav Nachman allowed it by the house of the Reish Galusa. He did allow for this leniency. And the Gemara says, Shani Bei Reish Galusa Delo Hadar Bahu. It's different in the house of the Reish Galusa because if they employ somebody to nurse the child, let's say they employ a wet nurse, so in that situation, we know that the person is not going to retract. The person they employed will not retract because they have a fear of the Reish Galusa, of the head of the exile, and therefore in that situation, there's more reason to be lenient. And the Gemara continues, Amar Lu Rav Papi. Rav Papi said to them, meaning he said to Rav Papa and Rav Huna, Bereid Rav Yoshua, they were the ones that wanted to be lenient. He said to them, V'yatan lo tizbaru mehadatanya, but don't you hold that we should be strict from the following brisa? There's a general halacha that when a person's husband dies, so she needs to wait 3 months to remarry, because if she has a child, we need to be able to identify the father. So the brisa says, let's say she always goes to her father's house, there's no way she's pregnant, or she's angry, there's anger in the house of her husband, again, she's not pregnant, she's not with her husband, or her husband's in prison, or her husband went on a trip far away, or let's say her husband is old or sick, or let's say she is barren, she's old, she's not able, she's underdeveloped, she can't have children, or she's a minor, she can't have children. Let's say she miscarries after her husband dies, so we know she's not pregnant by the husband, she's not able to give birth. Rabbi Meir says, even though logically over here in all of these cases we should be lenient and say that she doesn't have to wait 3 months, but she does. In all of these cases, she has to wait 3 months to remarry. We do not make distinctions. Rabbi Yossi mater le'aris v'linosei miyad. Rabbi Yossi is lenient. He says that she can be betrothed and she can get married immediately. V'yamar Rav Nachman amar Shmuel halacha k'Rabbi Meir b'gzeirosaf. And Rav Nachman said that Shmuel said the halacha is like Rabbi Meir. We're strict in this case because the halacha is like Rabbi Meir by his decrees. So in any case, you see over here, even though there's plenty of reason to be lenient, we are not lenient. So the same should be true by a nursing woman. And the Gemara says, Amri, they said back to him, Lava Daitin, we weren't paying attention to that. We didn't realize to make that connection to that halacha. But the Gemara says, Vihilchasa, but the halacha is mace mutter. Let's say the child dies, you have a nursing woman, then it is mutter for her to get remarried. Gemalatu asr, but let's say she weans him, it is going to be forbidden because we're afraid that will encourage her to wean him off the nursing too early. Mar Baravashi says, Afilu mace nami asr. Even if the child dies, it's asr. Because maybe she'll kill the child, and she'll go and get married. Maybe she wants to get married, and for that reason it'll motivate her to kill the child. And the Gemara comments, there was a story like this where a woman strangled her child, and so therefore you see that could happen. But the Gemara says velohi, you can't bring a proof from that story. Hahi shota havai, that woman was crazy. You can't bring a proof from a crazy woman. It's not normal for women to strangle their sons. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. Tanu Rabban, and the rabbis taught, let's say they give a woman a child to nurse. She's not allowed to nurse her son or the son of somebody else while she's nursing this child. It's going to affect her ability to nurse this first child properly, and she's getting paid to nurse that first child. She has to do it effectively. Let's say they give her a small amount of money to eat food, but that's not enough. She has to eat a lot. She has to make sure she sufficiently nurses the child. And the Gemara continues, she shouldn't eat together with him when she's nursing him. She shouldn't eat things that are bad for the milk. She has to keep the milk to be good quality. And the Gemara now says, you already said she can't nurse her own child together with his child. Ben boy, do we even need to say that she can't nurse the child of her friend? Of course she can't nurse the child of her friend if she's not even allowed to nurse her own child when she's being paid to nurse this child. And the Gemara says, no, it might be the other way around. Mahu detema, what might you have thought? Benohu dechayis ilove mamsi leitzvei, when it's her son, so she has mercy on her son, so she's going to give him a lot of milk, and it's really going to affect the other child. Aval ben chaverta, but the son of her friend, he loved to have a lamoser, if not for the fact that she had extra milk. Lo have a mamsi le, she wouldn't give it to him. In other words, there she'll be more careful. She's only going to give the second child if she knows knows she has enough. So Kamash Malan, that's what it's teaching us over here. The Bryce is teaching us in all situations, if she's getting paid to nurse one child, she can't take on another child. And the Gemara says, Paska kimo chelas harbe. If they're giving her a small allowance in order to eat, she still needs to eat a lot. And the Gemara says, Mehecha, well, where is she going to get this food if she has a small allowance? Amar Rav Sheisha says, Mishalah, she has to use her own money. If she takes it upon herself to nurse a child, she has to make sure, even from her own funds, to make sure that she is well fed. And the Gemara continues, Lo tochalimo devarim haroim. She can't eat things that are bad for the milk. Mai ninu, what are we referring to? What's bad for the milk? And the Gemara answers, Amar Rav Kahana, and Rav Kahana says, Kagon kashus, for example, hops, v'chaziz, or if you have young green grain, v'dagim katanim, or small fish, v'adam, or earth, all of those things are bad for the milk. And the Gemara continues, Abaya, Amar Abaya says, Afilu krav v'chavusha, even pumpkin and quince. And the Gemara continues, Rapapa says, Afilu krav kufra, even pumpkin and palm branches. That's talking about palm branches with unripe dates. And the Gemara continues, Ravashi says, Afilu kimcha v'harsana, even if you have kutach, which is like a dairy dish, and harsana, which is small fried fish. Minayu paski cholva, minayu achri chelba. And the Gemara comments, some of these items, they cause the milk to stop, and some of these items, they cause the milk to spoil. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, the Meshamsha Beirichi, if a woman has relations by a mill, Havelo b'nei nichve, she's going to have children who are epileptic. And the Gemara continues, the Meshamsha al-Ara, if she has relations on the ground, Havelo b'nei shemute, then she'll have children with long necks. And the Gemara continues, the Darchal d'modechamra, if somebody steps on the dung of donkeys, Havelo b'nei girdani, is going to have bald children. And the Gemara continues, Dach lachardula, if she eats mustard seeds, Havelo b'nei zilzolni, she's going to have children that are gluttonous, and these last two are talking about when she does these things while she's pregnant. And similarly, the Gemara continues, Dachla Tachli, if she eats garden cress while she is pregnant, Havala b'nei Dulfani, she's going to have tearful children. And the Gemara continues, Dachla Munini, if she eats fish brine while she's pregnant, Havala b'nei Mitzitzi Eina, she's going to have children with blinking eyes. And the Gemara continues, Dachla Gargushta, if she eats soil, Havala b'nei Mechoari, she's going to have children that are ugly. Teshasya Shichra, if she drinks Shichra, beer, Havala b'nei uchme, she will have black children. Diachla bisra v'shasya chamra, if she eats meat, if she drinks wine, Havalu b'nei, then she'll have children. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Samech Aleph, Amud Aleph.